One general subject, we'll start and we'll see how we go. We're learning, of course, these weeks, friends, about Avraham, Yitzchak, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. Soon to meet Yaakov. The founding of us and the Moishe, fathers and mothers. So I want to talk about Avraham for a moment because he's the subject of the Parshas, and a very powerful question. Avraham Avinu was 75 years old before Hashem revealed himself to him. He told him to leave your father's birthplace and go to land I'll show you, I'll make your name great, etc. That's how Parshas Lech Lecha begins. Now the astounding and astonishing question is, you read the Torah itself without any commentary, without any explanation from the oral or Torah Shebal Peh from the Medrash. The reader is like raising his eyebrows. Who is this person? Why is the Torah completely silent on all of the extraordinary achievements that Avraham Avinu accomplished till the age of 75? If you look in the Medrash, unparalleled achievements, unparalleled in the history of humanity. He discovers the Eibishter in a world of idolatry at the age of 3. And this discovery continues as he gets older, 48 other ages, deepens and deepens. He and Sarah, his wife, convert thousands of people to monotheism. He wrote hundreds of tracts, of books proving the existence of God. He is ready to give his life up for it. He was thrown into a furnace and given the choice to renounce your faith in this invisible, indivisible one God that you profess, or die. And he was ready to die. And extraordinary other achievements. The Torah doesn't mention a word. That's all you can do. You find all this out where? In Torah Shebal Peh and the Medrash. Now contrast this to Noach. The previous parsha before Avraham is Noach. And the story there is Hashem is going to destroy the world. Noach is saved. Why? The Torah tells us that he was a tzaddik, tomim, wholesome. The Torah itself justifies the narrative why this person is singled out to be saved and everybody else is to be destroyed. So the Torah, even without commentary, without Torah Shebal Peh, the oral law commentary, the reader understands the narrative. Here you read the story of Avraham. Hello, who is this person? We just know he was born, his father's name was Terach. That's all we know. Nothing else. Why the deafening silence? Similar, another question, see, we'll answer both with one answer. As we read, the Medrash tells us that as follows. So Avraham, the Eibishter appears himself to Avraham, then he comes back to Saul, the stories which follow. At the age of 99, first revelation was 75, at 99, the Eibishter appears himself to him and tells him to circumcise himself. Him and his whole household. And then Yitzchak is born to him, and Yitzchak is circumcised. So the Medrash says that Yitzchak and Yishmael, his brother, his half-brother, were once having this fierce debate. Who's more precious to God? Yishmael says, I was circumcised at 13, and Yitzchak says, I was circumcised at 8 days old. So the question is, I understand Yishmael, he was 13, he could have said no. He was 13 when Avraham was 99. So I circumcised myself willingly. I'm more beloved. And Yitzchak says, no, I'm more beloved because I was circumcised at 8 days old. On the contrary, that makes you less. What's the argument here? What's he advancing here? So friends, it's just a question we may have addressed before, but it's fundamental and it needs to be revisited and appreciated ever deeper. I may have expressed it to you this way before. If I did, forgive me. Very often people will say to me as follows: I want to be religious. Who doesn't want to be religious, by the way? Who doesn't want to relate a connection to God? But why can't I do it on my terms? Why do I have to follow this set of rules? And we all know that the rules in Yiddishkeit are like they're really demanding and highly specific. the difference between a kosher mezuzah and not kosher mezuzah, a spot of ink. If it's a chaf, it should be round to the top, and there's a little extra ink, it makes it square. It's that puzzle, you put it up there and you make a bracha, it's a bracha in vain, a bracha levatol. It's a spot of ink, for goodness sakes. The message is there. I mean, every mitzvah, Shabbos, kashrus, tefillin, every mitzvah, it's detailed minutia. What's the point here? But the bigger question is, why can't I define my spiritual path? I must be subject to a set of rules. The answer, friends, is you can. Where's it going to lead you? It's going to lead you to be a spiritual person, which is very nice. A religious person, even nicer. But with God, there's no connection to God. What am I saying? A very simple truth. Hashem is infinite and beyond, which means God is fundamentally inaccessible. Finite human beings cannot access and connect that which is fundamentally beyond us. Like we always illustrate, what's closer to infinite, 1 or a billion? Both are insignificant. Both are valueless in the face of infinite. Or another example, setting out on a journey. Someone takes one step and someone goes 1,000,000 miles. Which one is closer to endlessness? Which one is closer to endlessness? Neither. No one got off the ground. Endlessness? One step or 1,000,000,000 steps to endless distance, if that exists or not, another question. Is there really endless space? Not be science, no. Not be Torah, no. I should say first, not be Torah, no. But that's not discussion. Einstein has this incredible theory about space coming back on itself, whatever. I don't profess to understand it, but it does fit with Torah and Chassidus. But at any rate, in theory, endless distance. Who's closer to endlessness? Nobody. And that's just numbers and that's just space. The Eibishter is fundamentally beyond. There's this gulf which is impassable, cannot be bridged between Gvul and Bli Gvul, finite and infinite. So you want to devise your own spiritual path? You'll become a bigger finite. You become a bigger person, a nicer person, about mensch and spiritual. Every adjective in the world, bigger, I mean bigger in size, but bigger in level, higher. God, you haven't gotten off the ground. There's no connection. So now, how do you connect to God? How do we connect to the Eibishter? The answer is, we can't devise the system, but He can, because God can do anything. And He can bridge the gap between Him and us. He can rephrase that, He can grant us the ability, the divine ability to connect to Him. But He's got to grant it. He's got to grant it. And that's the answer to why the Torah says nothing about Avram's achievements. He's the first Jew. And the Torah wants to make it very clear. The relationship, what makes one Jewish, you can't become Jewish. You can't work towards it. You can't work towards it. It's granted. A convert is really always Jewish. Had this neshama all along that Hashem granted. The process of conversion just unlocks it. You can't become Jewish and you can't lose your Jewishness. Because you don't get it and you don't lose it. It's given. Maybe how do you know you have it? Your mother's Jewish. Then that God gave it. Person converts according to halacha, it means he's unlocking that which he always had. But I'm going to all of that right now. So the Torah doesn't want us to know anything about Avram because the first Jew is God appeared and said, you are mine, period. It starts exclusively. That's what mitzvahs are. Mitzvahs are, God says, wrapped, tefillin, it's just boxes, it's just leather, it's finite. Yeah, but I'm telling you, says God, I'm invested in this. Anoichi, I, mitzavacha, hayoim. Mitzavacha means command, connect. You do this, you connect to me. It's just a box. How does it work? Because I commanded you and I'm invested in it. So the Torah deliberately doesn't want to distract us. If the Torah would say, you know, Avram he discovered monotheism, he did see the come. Then we would say, oh, so he worked his way up and And then God naturally responded to him because he was there. There's no getting there. All these discoveries, it's all human. It's all accessing godliness, yes, but they're only the accessible dimensions of the divine, which is logical and empirical, and God is creator, and Hashem's beyond creator and beyond everything he discovered. What did he discover? He discovered the designer. He saw complex design. He realized there's a designer, and he saw that's one designer. He delved deeper and deeper into the integration of life. So it all pointed to this great one creator, but Abish is beyond creator. Beyond creator. And that's what we connect to. How do you connect to beyond creator? If he allows it. So it comes unilaterally from above. That's why there's silence in Avraham. Don't get distracted. It's not because he got there. His achievement, his steps. It's all a gift, a matan. We call it matan Torah, the gift. The relationship with God is essentially a gift. Something we cannot earn, we cannot forge, we cannot create. So mitzvahs work because he commanded them. That's why they work. Now all of the logic of the mitzvahs and the benefit and the gain, that, my friend, is the packaging. Hashem's essential self, he packages it in layers and layers of beauty and benefit and gain that we can appreciate in this world and the next world. But that's the packaging, friends. All of the insights and morality and ethics of it, and the beauty of Shabbos and of Kashrus and Tefillin, they're all beautiful explanations. They're packaging, they're divine packaging. You can't make up your own packaging. Even that is divine. But it's the packaging of the mitzvah. The essence is you commanded it. That's why it works. So the Rebbe says in Likutei Torah, a famous statement. If the Eibush will command us every day, go outside, take an axe and chop wood. Then if he would command it, then chopping wood would connect us to him, like Yom Kippur, like Sukkot, like Tefillin, like that, every mitzvah. What's the value? I have the storehouse is full of wood. I don't need it. It's the summer. I don't need firewood. And every day I'm chopping wood. Because he commanded it, it connects. The essence the essence of the mitzvah is because you commanded it. And we should not get distracted by all the explanations and benefits. That's not why we do it. We do it because you commanded, and that's its truth. All these benefits, because Hashem wants us to appreciate that connection on a human level as well. The body should appreciate it. Shabbos, kosher, mikveh is so beautiful, it enhances intimacy. Even the body, all the finite levels of me should appreciate the mitzvah. That's the packaging of it. It's invested in clothes. For those of us that learn Chassidus, you understand, this divine essential will gets invested in Atzilus and then Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. So Atzilus gives the Kabbalah reasons, and Bria gives the Gemara reasons, and Yetzirah gives all the Remez reasons, and Yetzirah gives the Pshat reasons. The divine will is invested in the system of creation, which is finite and descriptive, giving all the mitzvahs these beautiful layers and layers of wrapping and wrapping. It's a divine system. Hashem made that system. So these reasons are also divine, but they're the packaging of it. They're finite. They don't connect me. What connects me is because you commanded it. Now, friends, this is true of any relationship. Any relationship. Meaning to say, a relationship with somebody else, with your wife. Starting with your wife, because that's the deepest and most important relationship in your life, in our life. Any relationship has to be on their terms. If you love someone the way you want to love them, you're not connected to them. I've told you a story 1,000 times. I'll say it again very briefly of a couple that came to see me. I never saw them before or afterwards, mind you. Lived in Westmount. I think somehow, this is years ago, the Cary Square. The marriage is on the rocks. They're sitting in front of me, my little office in the Cary Square, and he's mystified, like, what's going on? And she wants out. And he says to me, I don't understand. Look at her, she's dressed, dripping in jewelry, and she drives a Rolls Royce, and what she had, what kind of car, and the vacations, and the house, and she lives the dream life. The whole world is envious of it. He doesn't understand. So what's that? And she's like, She took off on the jewelry on the table. I don't want it. What was the point? She's wearing the jewelry he likes to see her in. He takes her to the restaurants that he likes to go. He, the car, trophy wife, basically. She's getting all of this, but it's not her, it's him. He swallowed her. He didn't connect her. He swallowed her. He never simply asked the question, honey, where do you want to go? What do you want? He never connected to her. So with how much more so with the Eibush? Now, when it comes to other people, mind you, your wife, you don't have to ask. After all, you figure it out. Because we're humans, I can figure out, I pick up the hints, I know what you want. But with the Eibush, what do you want? I mean, no clue. How do we connect to you? Got to tell us, period. He says, Tzedakah, Tefillin, Shabbos, Kashrus. It's got to be absolute articulation, because we'll never figure out a way how to connect to God, because he's totally beyond us. Our spouse, he can figure it out. But the same principle applies. It's got to be based on the other person's need, not what I think you need or want you to have. And that explains the argument between Yishmael and Yitzchak. Yitzchak says to Yishmael, Yishmael says, I'm greater than you. I did this by choice. I thought about this. I could have said no. And I said, yes, I'll undergo the bris. So Yitzchak says, that's beautiful. That's also, it's you. Your decision starts with you. So your connection with God is based on the self. So it's limited to the self. I was 8 days old. That means the connection is pure divine. This is symbolic. Symbolic. Dafka, because of a baby and there's no input, that's the point. Mitzvahs work unilaterally because God grants it. We have no input in this. We cannot devise the system. So the person who says, I want to make my own spiritual path, good, you have a spiritual path. But to God, you haven't gotten off the ground, there's no connection. It has to be based on, tell me how I connect to you, show me. And that's why it's also 8, because 7 represents nature, the cycle of time. Logic, 8 represents beyond. We can't access beyond. Hashem can grant it to us. So therefore it's on the 8th day. So this is why, friends, we make a bracha before you put on your tefillin, your talis. There's 2 parts to the bracha. Every bracha has the same formula in the beginning. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. Baruch means, as we explained many times, blessed. What do you mean blessed? We're blessing God. God's supposed to bless us. No, what do you mean we're blessing God? Praise, you understand. What's blessing? So Baruch means ani. Baruch means to come down. Brecha. With this act that I'm doing, I'm drawing you down. It means this metaphorically. God's everywhere. I mean revealing. Ato, you, essence of Hashem beyond all description. Then Hashem Elokeinu melech asher kedeshanu b'tzvayso. You have sanctified me with your commandment. You have made me holy, which means connected to you, because you commanded me. And I'm connecting to you in this very moment. That's true of every mitzvah. Then we conclude and we say, the particular mitzvahs to the tefillin, to the talis, the details, and how that's going to happen. And with the details comes all the packaging. Tefillin has this message and this, and it has a different. So each mitzvah is unique. Each mitzvah is different in terms of the measurable effect on the world, its packaging, its value, how we can see how it enhances life. But each mitzvah is all equal at the core. It's your commandment, and we're connected. We're expressing the connection here, expressing it there, in different ways. 613 different ways. But it's the connection. Same thing in a marriage. You're connecting all kinds of experiences. All kinds of different experiences in life, all kinds of things that you're sharing your life together. But what's common in all of it is you're connecting. That's going to be the essence of it all. Not some of the experience, but you're connecting. How? In this. How? In that. So you're going on vacation. it's not the vacation that's the moment. It's two of us in the vacation. It starts with our connection. How we connecting now? Here, this way. Home, this way. Endless ways that we express our relationship. But it's not those experiences that make the connection. They're expressive of the connection. I'm saying that mitzvahs and all of their values, that's not what connects us to God. It's because you commanded it, and I'm doing it. We're one, and I'm expressing that oneness in this way, in all the ways you want me to illuminate my life and the world, etc. All right, friends, to go on to the next level, the Be'ezrat Hashem, it's already 7 o'clock. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we will continue. Have a wonderful Shabbos.